me? Okay, here we go. Big day. Yeah. Any more stuff that's now like obsolete, bring it to me. I'll make sure it goes to a good home. I like to start with a joke that bombs. So,
Excellent.
mission accomplished. Here we go.
Can you talk about what are the biggest challenges that you've faced in bringing this to the screen?
The biggest challenge is that you're setting a show on an alien world, an alien world that a lot of people have a lot of opinions about. And you can't just pick a lovely building or a street because everything has to feel like another world. So it's either a build or a VisFX or both. And that means a lot of construction, a lot of CGI, a lot of conceptual work. And you can't just say, look, let's find a cop shop or a hospital or if you kind of get lazy, the world building falls apart. So just from a practical standpoint, that's a big challenge. It's also an awesome thing because you constantly feel like you're playing in the most awesome sandbox in the world. So.
Is there a particular reason why sci-fi over another network?
That's a good question. It came to me already birthed by Sci-Fi, and I think that they just looked at it as the perfect IP for their network, and a great partnership with Warner's, and I think they were all just seeing that kind of big swing, expand that universe show, and Sci-Fi felt like the great fit. I'm really excited about it being there because I think I love Sci-Fi. I've had other shows on Sci-Fi. They're amazing to work with. I can't imagine it going another place.
Do you feel like because you're going so far back in House of L that you have more freedom, especially with fans, to kind of do your own thing and give us something that's maybe more like your vision instead of feeling like you have to stay akin to any kind of canon at all?
It's a good question. They're all good questions. That one is like a yes and no, and that's not cagey. Yes, because there's a lot, Krypton, Son of Krypton, there's been a lot of canon and stuff. We do also have a lot of freedom to world build by going back that far, before Jor-El, and that's wonderful. But the no part is that, look, there's also a lot of canon. This is not an IP that you can suddenly turn into like a rapey Metallica, soundtrack, death blood sport kind of thing, because that's not what the S means. It's about hope and aspiration and truth and justice and just, good stuff. So you walk this line of saying, look, we've all grown up with this IP. We're ready for it to take a nice, big, deep, grounded leap forward. We're living in like that post Frank Miller, Alan Moore world where we can't make it broad anymore, but we have to also be respectful for the lineage. So I guess that's the yes and the no. It's the challenge of like, let's world build, let's tell something deeper and cooler, but make sure that it really is honest to the feeling that we want to evoke.
On that same note, do you feel like going back so far back makes it harder to relate to the characters, that you have to do a whole character building at the beginning because people don't know?
You know what? I think the way we're doing it will have the opposite effect. I think that in going back 200 years, there's a couple of things. Going back 200 years, we are definitely going to create characters that I think are more relatable. This is not going to be that kind of shiny utopian version of Krypton. It will have wonderful advanced feeling, but also there is a part of it where the rankless live, where the people who have been stripped of their kind of status in the world live, and it is a much more hardscrabble existence. It is a harsh realm, and so the rules and regs of that society dictate very harsh laws to keep everybody alive in a very harsh climate or a harsh planet. So when we first meet Seg-El, the grandfather of Superman, at first he's part of the venerable House of El, but very quickly they fall from grace and are stripped of their rank. And he comes of age to the character we know now as a rankless. And so we are starting at a place a lot of us can identify with, which is a place of starting with nothing. We don't start him as this kind of shiny Boy Scout. He's rough around the edges. He's going to use his brain and his fist to get by. He's been stripped of his stature, and he's got to fight his way kind of back to honor and restore his family's name and save his planet. So I think there's going to be a lot there for us to grab onto as an audience. Further, a big thing about Krypton is, and I hear this a lot, and it was the first thing we thought too, is, hey, this is a show where everyone knows the ending. Did you get your technology hose you?
Yeah, I saw my recorder.
It's okay. Yeah, we think we know the ending. It's like, hey man, it blows up. Why should I care? The first thing we're doing is really trying to set the table that if you think you know the ending of Krypton, you don't. In the first episode, something happens that it comes from our present into the past, their past, that makes the stakes relevant, changes the timeline, changes history, and suddenly we will, within the first episode, you are like, oh, we don't know how this ends. And I think that's a very exciting thing for us as creators and really exciting things for fans.
On the same note, for someone like me that was a fan, like back in the 70s and 80s, and may not know everything that some of these younger folks about the canon and so forth, would that be enough for someone like that to be able to pick up on the show and just
Absolutely.
run with it? Okay.
Absolutely, I'm with you. I went as a kid to see the 1978 Superman film. I wanted to believe a man could fly. We will never let go of that tone, of that. This is never going to get so dark and, navel gazing that we forget that it's about wonder and awe and humor and, friendship and about the choice to do good. This the thing that's amazing about Superman and about his family is that they could have given into, corruption or self-interest or not given a damn, but they actually chose to fight and struggle for a better tomorrow. They believed in hope, they believe in truth, and I think that we want to know that comes from his lineage, not just growing up with good parents like Ma and Pa Kent. It's in his blood, it's in his DNA that even if they're down and out, the L's never gave up and they fought. I think it's very much like that Greatest Generation that came out of the Dust Bowl and fought all the way defeating Hitler and then gave their kids a really shiny tomorrow, and no one really knows what the hell they did over there, but that to me is the story of Krypton. And then just change what you think happens. I think it's going to be a hell of a show. Yeah, awesome. You got it. Thank you, guys.